Hey guys, my last video about back pain did really well, so I want to give you guys a quick run through about my journey with back pain and then what really pushed me over the hump to the point where I was able to enjoy all my normal daily activities again, like playing basketball, being active, being outdoors, and eventually I got to a point where I even ran a marathon a couple months ago, so that was really the point where I proved to myself that I kind of conquered my back pain that took so many good years away from me. So to dive into it, my injury, it all starts with an injury, right? So my injury was lifting related. Surprise, surprise, probably like if there's any of you guys watching this video, I'd say like 80 to 90% of you probably had the same injury. Through lifting weights. Mine was on seated barbell shoulder press, and I was pretty weak. I was probably like 16 or 17 at the time. I was in junior year of high school, and I was lifting way too much, had awful form, wasn't really strong first year's lifting, and instantly I kind of like felt that my right side kind of caved in a little bit, and there was like a super hot burning sensation in my back. And right away I knew something was wrong. So I quickly threw down the weight and, tried to like walk it out a little bit or like stretch it, maybe get on the foam roller. Nothing was really helping. And I was like, oh shit, like this is like the injury that people talk about when it's like, oh, like 10 years down the line, they're still dealing with it. And it was, sadly it was, as a young kid, you don't really have time to get injured. So I continued playing basketball in summer camp. I continued doing all my normal activities and being a young kid and just being active because I wanted to be active. But slowly my injury started to get worse and worse. It got to a point where 6 months after the injury happened, I was in just so much pain that I was basically unable to continue playing basketball, and most of my daily activities were pretty hindered. I was able to walk and carry a backpack, but I started consulting doctors, and these doctors told me to go to physical therapy. I'm sure that a lot of this sounds pretty similar to what you guys have experienced. PT didn't work. I went twice or maybe 3 times. I forget at this point, but didn't work. Went to chiropractors, went to massages, did everything under the sun that is related to back pain, and nothing worked. But I thought I was crazy because I'm a young kid and I'm athletic and I'm active. Like, why is this happening to me? It shouldn't, right? Like, I felt like an old man with my injury. But nothing really changed for about 3 years. I got the injury, let's call it senior year, and I was still injured come my sophomore year of college. And within these 3 years, keep in mind that I was stretching every day, I actually built it into my daily routine, at least an hour every day of stretching my lower back. And I would still wake up feeling like shit. My back would be super locked up. And it got to a point where it really started to affect me mentally, because in college, obviously, especially your first years of college, you're active, you're meeting people, you have to be, I guess, willing to go out and, for me, it was like playing basketball. Like, I really wanted to play basketball and meet people and like socialize that way. I just wasn't able to. I didn't play a single lick of basketball my freshman and sophomore year of college. And beyond that, I wasn't really able to work out at all except stretching in the gym. So you take away the socializing aspect, and then you also take away my ability to like really move. And the result of that was a pretty depressing and anxiety-ridden state of mind. And when I think about those years of college, it's pretty unpleasant. I was also getting shellacked by work, so that sucked too. And then those 3 years, nothing changed, like I was saying, but by the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year of college, things started to take a turn for the better. Things were on the up and up. I feel like I finally started to grow into my body a little bit more, and I was completely done growing at the time, and I think my body finally understood it was time to repair itself, and it did a good job at it. It took 3 years, but it finally got to a point where like I was able to start walking and do some dynamic stretches. Keynote here, write this down. Static stretching does not really work for back pain. If you have back pain, it is likely, if you're doing like cross legs, whatever, like touching your toes or doing like child's pose or whatever it is, cat cows, doing that every day is not going to solve the problem. You need to really get your body moving, loosen up and get some blood flow to your lower back, activate your core, make sure that your psoas, your pelvic floor, your back muscles are all not only loose but strong. If they're too tight, you're not going to be able to strengthen them because they're just going to lock up. Like you feel your back lock up, those muscles are probably also locked up. So you need to loosen them and then strengthen them, more than just your core. But like I was saying, everything that makes up your core, your hip flexors, your psoas muscles, your back muscles, there's a lot that goes into it. And making sure that all these things are loose, but also strong and able to kind of work with you and your body is the biggest key. I kind of forget where I was, but I was just kind of ranting about back pain because I could talk about it forever. Really understanding like how important eating good healthy foods are, drinking plenty of water, and getting really good rest were probably the 3 biggest things that kind of led me to my recovery. And I really started to notice this because by my junior year, I started living off campus and cooking for myself, which meant pretty boring food, but at least it was actually like healthy and filled with a lot of protein and a lot of healthy fats and anti-inflammatory fats, a lot of omega-3s and whatnot. Like eating good food actually impacts your body and how you feel. And if you feel good, then you're going to want to go out and do your daily movement and your, dynamic stretching for your lower back and strengthening all of your core and your deep core. I think that was the biggest turnaround for me because that all happened my junior year. And actually, pretty much by the end of the year, halfway through the year, I was able to run again, and I actually was able to play some basketball again, pretty lightly and not as often, but I was able to get to that point where I actually felt comfortable to run and jump and move around. But keep in mind, this was all over the course of 4 years, pretty much from the start of my senior year of high school to the end of my junior year of college. So take that with what you wish. Sometimes it's a long journey, but I think you can accelerate the process by prioritizing sleep, I think is number 1. Prioritizing really healthy foods and especially good anti-inflammatory fats filled with omega-3s. Animal fats are a great way to get this. And then also drinking a lot of water is criminally underrated. If you do all those 3, you'll have the energy to then do your dynamic movements and do your dynamic stretches and get movement into your lower back and body. And in that way, you'll start to feel a little bit looser and things will naturally start to progress and you'll feel better. I think a bonus is that no one knows about your psoas muscles. That's PSOAS. That is incredibly important, and it's something that my PTs never even talked about. They're your muscles that extend from the base of your spine, your lumbar spine. They like wrap around your spine, and they go all the way until they wrap basically until they hit your hips. So they go from the front of your hips to the back of your spine, and they connect basically your entire kind of low back and legs together. They also provide stability to all of these muscles, like from the bottom of your chest, even your diaphragm, so like how you breathe every single day, are impacted by these muscles. So from where you breathe all the way to your hip flexors, like how you move your legs. So these are often called the soul of the body, and I can make a whole different video on them. But check out some psoas stretching exercises on YouTube or Google. Very important that you take proper care of them. And if you guys do all those 6 things I think I said, so get good rest, eat good food, drink water, dynamic stretching, movement, and movement could be walking or riding a bike, something pretty mundane, but just gets blood flow to your lower back, and then making sure you stretch your psoas muscles. I promise you, you will feel so much better if you have back pain. Things will start to feel looser, you'll start to feel more able-bodied, and finally get back to doing all the things that you love to do. Just know that you're not alone. I've been there. I've been in this state before. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Like, there's been so many days, so many nights that I've been laying awake in bed like, what the hell am I missing? Because I'm just simply in too much pain to go out, and I would have to wear these when I would go out. Oh my God, I'd get clowned on because I would be wearing like the most like orthopedic shoes of all time. And I had even sandals. I had these like thick ass, they're actually my dad's, like thick gray, like therapeutic sandals. They were so ugly, but you know, I needed to wear them, or else like if I had like too much like pressure, you know, just standing or walking, I literally couldn't do anything. Like it would hurt too much, so I'd have to just call it, you know, at that. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you're curious about learning more, I run a school page where we talk about this stuff and we talk about anxiety. I'll link it in the description below, and also in the top comment. But if you're curious, if you're in the same boat, I've been there before, and I try to help young men overcome their anxiety. So if you want to learn more, check it out there in the description. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.